As much as I love the stars, I know the spirit must seek its lost radiance in the midst of the filth of this world. Even when its third eye is trying to wash it off in tears, it really means. Under the half-closed eyelid of the pine cone pagoda in oceanic meditation is a fire seed waiting for immolation like an overdue urn about to give birth. And do you see how the moon feathers the waves with silver and the breathing waters so much like the flesh of a woman undulating under the caress of an unaccustomed hand shines back like fish swimming through a star map. As above, so below. Same with inside and outside. Astrophysics is psychology. Noumena, phenomena. Are you looking for a unified field theory of your mind? Study that small sacred syllable of a black ant with the torn wing of a butterfly under full sail in its mandible is taking back to the heap of a thriving passage tomb burial like a high card it's going to lay out on the table without intending to call anyone's bluff. The moon on the lake isn't timed. Death's not too late. Life's not too early. Not all the flowers bloom at once in a wave of mass hysteria at a sports stadium. Time is as generous to the dandelion as it is to the hyacinth or the rose. When a total eclipse of the soul can be as illuminating to a firefly as the enlightenment of the full moon can be to the mad at harvest time, and the night bird sings on the same branch out of the same longing as the morning dove does on a burgeoning bough, how far must a wave look for the grail before it realizes it's swimming in its own, and by virtue of it having never been lost or found, like the universe you're surrounded by, dipping its other wing in the cup you drink from, like blood from your own prophetic skull, or an elixir of love from the goblet of a black tulip, as an antidote to falling into a cult of trances, trying to teach rattlesnakes to ghost dance for rain, when everywhere you look as far as you can see, nothing but the bleached bones of their vertebrae crumbling like aqueducts across a sea of sand, looking for holy hourglasses to green it again. When things are like this, why send a caravan of images like thought trains on a pilgrimage for water on the moon? Is a course correction more innocent than its original direction? Or is it just another change of heart on the part of a weather vane that thinks linearly it's got its hands on the rudder of the wind? Best thing to do in a storm is let go of the wheel of birth and death and either go down with the ship like a constellation or trust in a bubble-shaped universe you can still might float like a turbulent water lily above the turmoil of it all, anchored to the bottom like a key on a kite, to lure the lightning to your spinal cord, the way copulating snakes make their own caduceus, twin wavelengths from the same inner matrix, ascending like helical thermos under a dove's wings. So the dragons are born of cosmic eggs that know how to heal with fire, that can consume itself like life without ever getting burnt out, even when autumn's coming on, and you can begin to smell the smoke and the ashes on its breath. Enlightenment, the inspiration of the search. The spirit returns to the candle in your hand to dance with the flame of life within you on your own threshold, in your own doorway, as you realize, like someone waking up from a dream in their own bed, their head on a softer pillow than they imagined a moon rock could be at one end of gravity of the earth. What was there to aspire to that could possibly be higher and wiser than a cloud circling a mountain or down in the valley where the stars slum once they get off the night shift, more compassionate than a honeybee in the eye of a stargazer lily, smothering its rusty ochre dust storm of pollen, the way we prepared our dead when we lived in caves, to bloom like a hive when its spirit returned to matter, in the next incarnation as a gust of wildflowers on Mars. Hawkweed, an Indian paintbrush, I would think, and the unusual fruits and flowers that can sprout from a windfall of intensely radiant meteor showers, flung out of the darkness by the hands of generous sowers that were plowing the moon for themselves long before the ox of the mind showed up like the blessing of a delusional dependency that makes you think, gone to seed, you need it. When the truth has always been mindful, and mindlessly green as the thorns and the leaves of the locust trees in the spring, coming into blossom as easily as the mind stream follows its own lead everywhere, with nothing but its own flowing for a navigator. No gate, no lock, no pivot, no hinge, no water clock trying to put the fire of life out in a bucket brigade of community-oriented arsonists. Departure never any further off the beaten path from home than its arrival can be led astray by the shadow of the return journey it casts behind it, like a widening wake of a water bird's wings unraveling the flying carpet of the water that wove it, like wavelengths of the hidden harmonies that are on your side, like your eyes are, when you step out of the blazing house of life once in a while into the expansive solitude of your own inimitably creative darkness, without a candle, with a firefly, a lightning strike for a guide, and look up. Just look up in any direction you wish. And don't pick any one of the 6,000 stars you can see with the naked eye in the country, no matter you don't know their names or myths of origin or much about shepherd moons or what an Antikythera is. Then run around looking for an underground circumpolar sage to show you on a star map where your shining is at, like the light of the star. Though you cry in bliss and sorrow, delusion and insight, you can't wash out of your own eye any more than you can Venus in the dawn when you're sitting on a mountain under a Bodhi tree trying to attain the unattainable empty-handed in the same breath that's been giving it all away for light years, inexhaustibly, like a flower mouth of enlightenment in everything you say or do. The world in the creative wake of whatever medium that's shape-shifting into you, like water into a fish, darkness into a star, sky into a bird on the wing in a homesick sunset, or the shining of the source, like the lantern in your hand. You needlessly labor at keeping lit to go on looking for it, without realizing it's your own blazing that blinds you to the gift of what the darkness arrays before you, like candles and stars, and nocturnal water lilies opening like a new moonrise, amazed by the occult mystery of the fire that burns in the subliminal watersheds of your fathomless eyes. In this boundless space, why should you be surprised behind all the masks of God, her best disguise, when the hidden secret wished to be known as she revealed herself, was your own face, your eyes, your mouth, your ears, your voice alone pouring the universe like the light of picture music into your own ears, like the spirit of a word that can't be enlightened until it's being heard by you. Wow. Manage that without too much stutter.